Good evening and welcome to Season A, the platform where we speak truth to power. Today, the 29th of May, is a day when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was sworn in. 29th of May 2023, he was sworn in as the 16th president. I think is it, if I'm correct, 16th or the 17th, one of the two, of Nigeria. Yeah, it is momentous in the significance of the event. But what was missing from, in my opinion, what was missing from his address is what I'm putting on the screen before you. And I use that as a way to really reinforce the need for the citizens to participate in the governance. And these are the words that I personally and many of those who are proponents of the true democracy were expecting him to say, to challenge the citizens to actually participate in the governance based on the constitution on which he's going to serve the country. That's what I think. So let's read the words again just to capture the essence of what should have been said. Everything is said in terms of getting rid of subsidy and also ending the multi exchange rate issue. Those are, quick wins, in terms of how they present things and everything else, and sort of appealing to foreign investors. They're okay. But I think what needed to be said above all was to appeal to the citizens through their own constitution, reminding them that they indeed have the power. I should have reminded them that they have the power. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. I believe that this should have been central plank of any presidential inaugural statement, because it would have really held, spoken to the imagination of the citizens, challenging them to wake up and actually take the mantle of the power that they possess. But of course, they don't want you to know that, and that's the point why I'm making this a central part of my discussion this evening. And of course, the second part of it, that was indeed 14.2a. 14.2c talks about the participation by the people in their government shall be in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. These two things he could have been woven and intertwined into his statement, because that would have shown clear intent that the people of the country mattered to him, and he wanted them to know that they can challenge his governance. He was prepared to. He would have stated in clear terms that he was prepared to put his governance, to task, to be tasked by the citizens to whom they are ultimately responsible. But I didn't see any of that statement. There were a lot of flowery languages in terms of, yes, I'm going to serve you, I'm going to do all of that, but no reminding the people. He talked about trying to end corruption, but the best way you can end corruption, in my opinion, is through the participation of the people in the governance. When the people are participating in the governance, it is nigh impossible for corruption to take place, because everybody will be watching what is going on, and they can actually ensure there's accountability, because they'll be demanding from it, questioning the elected officials, including himself. But having said that, yes, they have to say what they have to say, but we the people, I just take this opportunity to reiterate once again. 14.2a. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. And of course, 14.2c. The participation by the people in their governance shall be in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. Those two are two things that I implore every citizen in all 774 local government areas of the nation to begin to take as their real power, even in this flawed 1999 constitution, because those are the powers that you will need to be able to use to hold your elected officials within your own local government area to account. No ifs, no buts. You must begin to do that. And also, furthermore, I also add, there is something called the monthly allocation, FAAC, Federal Account Allocation is called FAAC. So it is a monthly allocation that is given to each of the states. So let me quickly give you a quick rundown on that. So there you have it. It is the Federal Account Allocation Committee. Federal Account Allocation Committee. So you see the Federal Account Allocation Committee, FAAC. So what you do, just a quick one, look at NCIT Bill biome. You know, and we're just gonna quickly go and look at that. This is what is going into in-seat biome. I will just quickly. I will be doing this on a regular basis. I'll just pick a random local government area. In-seat biome, Ubiome, is a local government area in Akwa Ibom, if I remember correctly. Let me just check. I think it is Akwa Ibom. Let me just check that to make sure. Yeah, it's Akwa Ibom. So you can see it on the screen there. It says Akwa Ibom. So what we are trying to do is we are encouraging you to use your powers as citizens, Section 14.2A and 14.2C, to begin to hold your local government elected officials to account, asking them, where is this money gone? Where is that money? That was for November 2022. Where's that money gone? What have you done? Used it for? And then take a picture. Begin to look at your area. Join. Make sure you are part of a local community area, a local community association, and you begin to go and detail the problems you have: the lack of healthcare, the lack of roads, lack of water, lack of electricity, lack of schools, all of these things, and then ally that. You have to then tie that to the money that is not being, the money that has come in that they haven't used. You remind them the money has come in. These are the things we are missing. We need you. You will instruct the elected officials where you want to use the money, because they didn't pay their wages. As it stands, if you do not do that, the money will go missing, and they'll do whatever they want with it, and they will not with it, and they will not make it. They will not let you know where it's gone, and you have the power. So we are here to really reiterate that. But yeah, let's go. Going forward, that's what I would expect all 774 local government areas to be doing. Your focus should not be on the president and what he's doing. It should be on your local government area and checking and tracking the monthly allocation, such as I've just done. You can track it and question them, and then tie that to the lack of infrastructure within your community. Those funds should be applied to that. No ifs, no buts. Right. Okay, let's go forward.
When after kicks in, but now with this speech of the president, he did directly speak on some policies and some things he intends to do with the economy. What are your thoughts when you look at the economic perspectives, the parts where he made direct reference to what he intends to do with the economy in his speech?
Yes, thank you again for having me. I think first I'd like to congratulate Mr. President. It's actually a thing of joy to see that at inauguration, the president speaks directly to some key issues. Like you rightly mentioned, we had expressed serious concerns about some policies that have negatively affected manufacturing business. And I'm glad that he spoke directly to some of them. Chief among which is the fact that we needed to address multiplicity of taxes and levies which have negatively affected manufacturing.
Which I said.
He also spoke about a unified exchange rate, which we have always called for. He indicated that he wanted to promote domestic manufacturing as against the importation that takes away local jobs and gives it to foreign jobs. He also spoke about the issue of a fiscal policy that supports productivity. I think it is along those lines that one feels that the speech he made is encouraging and the resolve, because to say again, I carefully watched the body language and it indicated resolve. So one is looking forward to him hitting the ground running. He understands the issues, and in particular, the reference to fiscal policy. I was even expecting that he would be more definite, and I think those ones will come in the days after. We are looking forward to the latest unwarranted escalation of the excise duty on alcoholic beverages and tobacco, which ran against the roadmap that government itself set about 3 years ago. It was a 3-year roadmap, but 1 year down the line, the Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning did go outside of that and is promising to ruin those sectors that are affected and even make the anticipated revenue of government not realistic. So I think he's hitting the ground running. We are looking forward to putting quick action. I think most of the issues he mentioned can be accomplished in the first 100 days. For instance, reversing some of these policies that we have complained about.
Well, Mr. Oyedele, you are the tax person. I mean, you operate in that realm a lot more than some others, I reckon. So, and also remember several...
This is merely, we're not going to go into detail in depth about this, particularly for our citizens. Of course, we'll listen to it, but I just want to just reiterate this particular key point. For the citizens in the local government areas, all communities, you need to be involved in your governance at the local level. The amount of money being looted on a daily basis by elected officials that you have the right to hold to account, but you are not exercising that right, is unbelievable. It's seriously too much money. Another example of what I mean, let's pick another country, a state. Anambra. So Anambra State, Onitsha North, 184. How much is the Onitsha North? Anambra total, 4.5 trillion was what was given on the monthly allocation in Federal Accounts Allocation Committee in November 2022. And look at the highest amount, I believe, was 308. I think it's 308. Idemili not. You see that? Let's go back here. I want to make sure you follow what we're saying here. Idemili not, you see, in Anambra. So that amount, if we go and look, we could even do a simple thing. If you go and look at the roads in Anambra, do you have electricity? Do they have all of those things? So you now begin to see that there's quite a lot of money. That's billion naira. These are 308 billion naira. We're not talking millions. We're talking billion naira. So these are the things we need to really home in on. And I'll keep reiterating, participation of the people in the governance is key to bringing infrastructure, to ensuring that there's infrastructure in your local area. And you need to collectively participate, because if you do it individually, they will simply just pay this one off, pay that one off, and nothing will happen. But it's a collective effort, knowing that the benefit for the collective benefit will be good roads, hospital, water, light, schools, bridges, healthcare, safety and security, and so on and so forth. So I want to just keep reiterating that point. So when you hear him talking, he's more talking about specific areas. We are talking about more general terms of how, as a community, we can come together and ensure the basic infrastructure that we need, the real infrastructures that we need, the roads, the water, the light, the schools, the bridges, the healthcare, the safety and security, are put in place using the funds that have been allocated to us via the Federal Accounts Allocation Committee. And this must be something we must be doing on a regular daily basis, daily, monthly, weekly. We must exercise our powers to hold our elected officials to account. I will keep reiterating that. Here we go.
Fora, where before he became president, where he spoke about tax. He was at a time when the government had increased tax, so he raised concerns saying, look, he doesn't support them increasing tax, because adding another layer will be a heavy burden for the people to bear. So he'd rather see them expand the tax net, which he also spoke about taxes here, eradicating multiple taxation. So what goes through your mind? How do you see them also achieving this, as Mr. Ajoyekede said, within the 100 days, addressing some of these key tax concerns that the country has?
Yeah, thank you very much, Shembalin. I'd like to also congratulate the new president, and also congratulations to Nigerians, because
I think I'm going to actually pause it there. I'm going to bring this broadcast to an end, because those are areas, yes, you can talk about taxes, policies, and everything else. That's fine. Policies are not the issue. The issue is the fact that our lack of participation. And sometimes listening to this, you think they're working for you. They can do all the policies they want. But if you do not participate in the governance, if you do not begin to apply the powers that you possess, i.e., sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom this government, through this constitution, derive all its powers and authority, and Section 14.2c. The participation by the people in their governance shall be in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. Know this off head. We must know this too off head in all our local government areas. Share it to secondary school children. Make it even, I will try and see if I can even translate it into user-friendly ways for, primary school children. Because this is something that is going to really change our psychology. Once we start participating in our governance, the incidence of corruption will drastically reduce, because when all of the community are watching what they're doing, focusing on it, not instead of being distracted by the churches and the mosque, they will not be able to loot, because they will have to account to you. Once you know you have the power, the sovereignty, and you are exercising it through participation in government, none of that will happen. So this is why this is so important. That way you can get the infrastructure you need. You don't need to go and pray to anybody in any church or any mosque. What you need to do is apply the sovereignty that your community possesses collectively and consistently on a monthly basis, on a daily basis, like a laser beam, focusing on the monthly allocation and where it's going, and questioning all elected officials because you have the power to do so. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to keep reiterating this point. At every opportunity, when I come on air now, it's about the solution. This is the solution to the problem. Our lack of participation in our governance has made it possible for the elected officials to loot. But once we start participating and I start exercising the two powers you see on the screen there and start holding them to account, there is very little room for them to actually carry out corruption. But we need to do this collectively in our communities. So let's begin. The new president has started. Let's start afresh. Let's start applying these laws and this power that we possess and using it to scrutinize the monthly allocation coming to our local government area. I've shown you one example. Who sits? Let me just see that place again. I can't quite say it properly. Yeah. That was Idemili North, I just told you. Idemili North, 308 billion naira. Where's that money gone? Billion naira, not million, billion naira. And at the local level, you must question the officials. They must explain to you where that money has gone. And if you're not satisfied, they need to provide actual evidence. And that way, and then you stand now. You will all know what the state of your infrastructure. You can tell them the things that are lacking. You say we want that money to be used for it. They will bend to your will once you start applying your constitutional powers, 14.2a and 14.2c. So I urge you all, please let's do that. You're of course watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. The question remains: how long gonna get this offer? Now we are giving you the tools to make the change. We are showing you how to make those changes yourself. You don't have to wait. It's your community. It has to be a community effort, collective community effort, standing together and demanding what will collectively benefit you. Infrastructure is a collective benefit for your economy, for your community. Infrastructure is a collective benefit for your community. So it makes sense that you collectively stand together to ensure that it's put in place, scrutinizing, questioning, and participating in your governance, holding your elected officials to account. So let's get to work. Ladies and gentlemen, you're of course watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I'll back later on. Please share this broadcast. Let it reach more people. We need to start participating in our governance. The key word, participation in our governance, is the only way to solve our infrastructural to solve our infrastructure lack of infrastructure. Participation in our governance is the only solution to our lack of infrastructure, because we can then hold them to account. We can demand accountability from them. They have to give us answers to where the money allocation is going. We then highlight the lack of infrastructure in our area, and we will tell them we want those monies to be used for that. And they will have to bend to your will. So let's get to work. Thank you so very much for watching. You've been watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. No longer are we going to be waiting around and praying to anybody. Every community, each person that knows, teach the other. Encourage collective effort to achieve infrastructure within your community. Let's get to work. Thank you for watching. You're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. It's not going to be easy. I'm not saying it's easy, but you have to be consistently doing this on a daily basis. The time you're spending in the church and must spend 50% of that time to begin to now question your governance. Now you know you have these key powers that I've just showed you. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through its constitution, derives all its powers and authority. And of course, the participation of the people by the people in the government shall be in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. Those two are very powerful things within this flawed constitution that we can use to begin to hold elected officials to account. So we must do that. We need to teach each other. We need to spread this message across all 774 local government areas. Let's begin to do so. My focus still remains Yoruba Nation, but to get there, we need participation in our governance, because one of the key things, central plank that we need a referendum. Without participating in our governance, we can't get a referendum. That referendum will decide if we're still going to be in Nigeria or not. We need that to take place. And the only way we can achieve that is through active participation, monitoring, questioning, and then holding our elected officials to account using these two powers as stated above. Thank you for watching. You're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. When you get the broadcast, please share, and share. So this is the beginning of a new government led by Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Our focus must go to the local government areas and hold them to account using these two powers. Let's get to work. Thank you for watching. Please do share, and share. You're, of course, watching Citizen Network, the platform where we speak truth to power. Subscribe, hit the notification button, give us a thumbs up, leave comments, and help us spread this message. Very, very important. We must start right now, right through, and we must do this every single day for the next 4 years. No ifs, no buts. Every single day. Hold them to account. Demand them to accountability from them. They need to answer you. Use these powers repeatedly as often as you can, but most importantly, as a community. Let's get to work. Thank you for watching. You're watching Citizen Network, the platform where we speak truth to power. Bye for now.